you?
they can come in,
Okay.
they can do the recalls on the whole fleet.
Perfect.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. How about you?
Good.
That's the guy who goes.
So, that's good to know. I was actually ahead on my list. I started working on my budget for next year. So I wanna reach out to them and see if they have a 2024 state contract in yet, to see what the cars are.
I'm good, I think it was getting out that.
You know, I just thought, you know, a couple of
Short-term
next
rental.
Yeah.
Incidentally, that guy put
I'll tell you
that
what.
place on the auction block.
I'm having issues with
He's auctioning it all.
brake rotors. Are they making metal cheaper? I mean, what's your opinion on it?
I think you need PennDOT specifications.
I know you don't wanna
Yeah, we
hear
didn't
it,
get back to that.
spend the money, put building slotted rotors on
I
it.
gotta find the
I mean,
bill again because it got
you can order them online,
jumbled in.
you
Closed up,
can get a brake
moved
kit,
around
and at least do the fronts.
since Thursday.
You guys are just too hard on the stock rotors, they're not cooling down.
Well, that's just it, and that's the warping, and then we have that. So I had the shop get better rotors this time.
Yeah, they don't work.
Yeah,
You have to go drill and slotted, or
is that right?
even the fleet rotors, they're better, they're heavier,
And
but they're
working
not.
performance wise, it's okay, like with the original specs,
Oh, better.
better.
If you get the right combination, they'll sell you brake pads, the rotor, everything,
Everything matches.
and it'll stop quicker than what's on it.
Maybe that's what I have to look at because I'm starting to get really annoyed.
And I mean, I had cars out there that had drilled and slotted rotors, and they were lasting like 2 times longer than the same vehicle with regular rotors.
Yeah. Yeah, and I compare, it's hard to compare, like, sometimes I'll reach out and talk to other departments and talk about their fleets, but it's, our driving here, as far as the municipality, is totally different. So you can't get a fair comparison, you know?
You got too far to drive from here
Yeah.
to anywhere, like Kumru is about probably close,
Yeah.
but they have how many cops on it at one time?
You know, I could talk to a department, like, I reached out to, I have a friend that's captain in Robeson, I reached out to him, I was talking to him, and, but again, they're not traveling sometimes 20 miles to a call, you know?
And usually when you get the call, you're in a hurry.
Yeah. I told him I'm gonna be buying more bikes if I gotta keep replacing rotors.
Because they went through the roof.
Yeah, everything's expensive.
Whatever the rotor used to be, it's double. I can guarantee it's double.
Yeah, I noticed that.
You know, and you know, a $75 rotor for an F-350 is now $160.
For sure,
Yeah.
we own
You
that.
know, and I'm like, nothing's changed.
You know, the rotors on
Although
most of our
maybe we
cars
should
are a
check
heavy
if
duty
we can
rotor
get out.
from, because they're a police model.
Right.
Our F-150 is an Interceptor, it's a police model, it's a standard duty rotor. So that's why I'm having issues with that, you know, because we use it in patrol. So if I get a new car, I'm gonna pull that out of everyday patrol and use it for, like this weekend was perfect for the storms, and things like that.
But I think if you would put drilled and slotted rotors on them, I mean, you can get them fairly reasonable.
Yeah.
It'll make a difference.
I'll have to look into that, because I'm really unhappy with my, my maintenance this year, my expenditures. It's something I'm looking to address, because I've never had a year like this year.
And I mean, there's a company called Power Stop.
Yeah, I just sent that to you. Look at your, yeah.
And they
That's what I
actually,
use on my truck for towing and stuff like that.
yeah, but they actually have different variations.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if you get to them, they will have a police package, you know, that's what they do. They have them for towing, they have them for racing, they have them, and it's a combination, brake pads and rotors as a package.
Do you know Brian Hart?
Don't think so.
He's in charge of Penske over here.
Okay.
That would be a good source too.
Yeah. See, yeah, it's something that, like I said, I noticed my, cost has increased this year, and so I'm looking to see what's going on.
That's a friend Flintstone.
Yeah, I had to do.
See, all your cars have steel
Oh, down
wheels
low.
on them too, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the other one?
They're hot.
Supposed to be here?
He's
Good point.
Still there. All the cars are set up to have, they have aluminum wheels with airflow.
Some fair or something.
Yeah, no, you might wanna think about that.
Which is true, he's gonna be back on time.
It might not be
So
favorable,
my
but
plan
to
B
get a
was-
set of aluminum wheels
Chris gave
thrown
us
on one.
someone.
Here's a good point, but when next year, when I spec cars out, I'll spec them out with the wheels.
You know what I mean? It's just something to think about, cause there is no
You could
airflow
at least.
with steel wheels.
On you and-
You know, so that might be, it might be getting too hot with the driving.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, but he's not coming.
And I mean, Steel wheel thrust, aluminum wheels don't,
Yeah.
you know, that's scary stuff. I mean, if you go four-wheeling, you're probably gonna break it.
Galen lives so far away.
He's stuck in
Take time
traffic.
while we get here.
He's in traffic, there's a lot out there.
Traffic.
From the detour.
I think that bridge is gonna be done soon. The bridge itself actually is done.
25th,
It's the,
25th it's supposed to be open.
yeah, it's the, either side that they need to, touch up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to stop that, talk to the crew again.
I thought they were moving it, but apparently they put it in the same spot.
Put it on Rock Island.
Yeah, we could have did with that.
Should've gave us a heads up because we're the crews.
What was
This is
actually
the bridge.
wrong with that bridge?
Which one with that, the Feisty Cave bridge?
Yeah.
They just decided it was deteriorated to the point they needed to replace it. But I'll tell you what, I was actually, if you weren't away, I would have called you on Sunday. What do we have to turn in the township detours? I didn't know I was behind you.
Yeah.
10 was closed.
I said to my wife, I said, well, if Harold happens to call me, I know why, because he's behind us. He's gonna wanna know what's going on then.
Well, poor Stretch had a hell of a day that day,
Oh, he did.
because they were going around the barricades, and they were like going around different ways in the barricades,
Yeah.
almost hitting cars.
He had 4 calls, just from general calls for,
Did you lose
People.
power?
Yeah,
saying
20
reporting
hours.
people going around barricades.
yeah,
And
we're
I
out for
think
20 hours, yeah.
they approved 3 citations and 3 warnings to people going around the
When
barricades.
he was then sitting there, and they did it right in front of him, and it was like, Bernie's like, he says, I will do it, but I'll turn around.
When we went by, there was a little kid standing next to the wire. I was like,
Well, then it shouldn't matter, someone should have picked it up and moved it.
yeah, right.
Because if the kid wasn't twitching, it was good.
I called him and, I said, hey, you wanna get back down here? I said, there's people walking around.
Read that.
He says, I'm already on my way. In fact, I'm pulling up. I said, okay, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, I said, anyways, that felt bad for him, because, I mean, they were going around and they were almost hitting the police car. It was
And I think
like,
this
what
is
in the
probably
world?
You know, later in the day, I came down to Turkey Hill
This
year, I should say.
and
The question
I got out my
There
truck,
you go.
started it up.
does,
I was like,
does
3
the
cars.
design.
I didn't even know if they stopped the brakes. They went right around the curb.
Yeah,
You know, and we can't shut his fully down. It's just not fair to the restaurant.
We need
Yeah.
You
to
know,
use all PennDOT approved materials.
well, they even went through the side on
Yeah.
the Dahlia side,
Yeah.
going in through already, they went between the telephone pole and the barricade.
well, they told me at one point when I was reading the one report, they said when they went back out, the barricades were moved. They had to put them back in place. So somebody got out and moved them. when we were-
Yeah.
Or review,
Well, you know,
that's
I
what
don't
I
know what
mean.
it is with people in barricades, because they
Yes,
just
all
say
of our
they're
materials.
Yeah,
just like a
just
regular
like-
project.
Barricades don't mean
And
nothing,
I
it means you have to get out
but I think
the
the question here, and this is what I need to.
If they don't
That's why
trust
we
us.
read it while you.
eBay
Is-
someplace.
Well, you pull up that, you really couldn't see what was going on.
Right.
Right.
All you know is it's
Yeah.
closed.
Let's double check and make sure those procedures.
Well, remember, there was no wire there.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So apparently somebody pulled that off and put pallets on top of it.
Is
Gene's portion
No.
of the meeting.
When they were saying, but there was still juice.
once a week for
Yeah,
2
there's
weeks.
There was no wire when I was there.
Yeah.
Has to
Oh,
be-
I'll see on the shoulder wire,
Yeah.
the 3 of them.
No
Yeah.
sooner.
There was
There was 10 days before
It was
business.
personally like that.
So standard.
Yeah, but when the cars were driving through, there was no wire there.
Get the
When I watched two cars go in front of me, it was gone.
Clean it before
Yeah.
it's gone.
I don't know where it was.
Hey, Jeff,
Look for.
do you,
Yeah, yeah,
can you
Jeff, they
think
had
of
what's his
anything
name
we
last
didn't
year?
have in here as far as,
yeah.
you know, I have a very standard, general
Yeah.
statement as far as.
You know why we
insurance,
lost power?
Things like that from our
No.
design.
They wouldn't tell us.
Yeah.
I think
I
that.
didn't find out.
It was,
I mean, I can talk to my dad, but
I went down and talked to him,
The
It was behind Kenny Wright's place.
Oh, really?
We all walked out.
Kenny had, where it comes out of the quarry, crosses the road to the creek side, it runs down behind Kenny Wright's house. There were 7 line trucks down there.
Which I think you have.
There were 3 big trees
I will
laying
double check.
down on the
Tell me we'll put
3-phase
something together.
that goes up the
There's
corner
no
and around.
Yep.
I was out for like 21 hours.
Yeah, we were out for 21 hours.
I ran the generator for most of it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right, you ready, Gil?
Yeah, but that's where it was.
Everybody else is. Hang on, the August meeting of the Robeson Township Board of Supervisors will hereby come to order. We're going to start the meeting with pledge to the flag and a moment of silence for our servicemen wherever they may be. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Mr. Rory, I'll turn the roll call over to you.
All right, Mr. Vice Chairman. Vice Chairman Brown,
Yes, here.
Supervisor Rhodes,
Here.
and Supervisor Steve.
Here.
May it please the board, the Robeson Township Board of Supervisors is now duly in session.
Okay, are either of the missing members going to be in contact via Zoom
Recording in progress.
or phone? No? No. Okay, just checking to make sure.
Yeah,
No, what's going on?
just the 3 of us.
Thank you. All right. That being done, we'll move to item 2, citizens' concern, public comments. Bernie Catarakis.
Bernie Catarakis, 237 Bard Road. Same as always. What's going on with my road and what's going on with my driveway?
Bernie, I had Heather from our office try to reach out to you and that was unsuccessful. I've been busy the last couple, I've had Heather from our office call you to try to set up an.
I talked to her.
Yep.
And I called her back, and I talked to her, and then she called me back.
Okay.
And we had a conversation last week.
Yep, that's right, last week. So before we leave here tonight, let's go on a date that I can get with Barry and we can meet you.
But what about the backing up of the road? That's my driveway issue. What about the backing up of the road, the rest of the road?
I'm not directly in charge of that, Bernie. My understanding is that they were gonna be working on that.
Yeah, I was just curious, because
Yep.
that has a direct relation to
Sure.
my driveway.
I think that's gonna play into our discussion.
Yes, and that's gonna be the big one.
We're gonna be talking about it a little bit later. Probably something to try and hopefully make that happen. All right, anybody else, public concern? Going once, going twice. Move to item 3, correspondence.
Mr. Vice Chairman, the first item is a letter from the Department of Environmental Protection dated August 8th relative to the annual waste load management at the Birdsboro facility. There are a couple deficiencies that they have to complete, and the letter also notes that GAJA has to submit its DEP Chapter 4 report as soon as possible.
That's already was submitted, it was submitted, and somehow or other, they must have not caught it.
I thought it was.
It was submitted.
All right, good. One last thing. The next item is the audit from Village. And there's a form confirming the revenue that the township has provided to the library in the amount of $7,500. I will sign that and send that on.
Do we need a motion to authorize the signature?
Probably the safe way to do it.
All right, I'll make the motion that we authorize you to sign the audit authorization for Village Library.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a duly made and seconded motion. So I'll start over here. Aaron?
Yes.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes.
The next item, may it please the board, is a very thoughtful letter from Mark Elliott relative to his retirement, and he's thanking the board for his police duty pistol and badges that he's worn so proudly upon his retirement. The next item, may it please the board, is a letter from Comcast, and they're indicating to the township that they plan to submit an application for a broadband infrastructure program to extend service to several areas that currently are unserved in Robeson Township.
It looked like you were looking for an agreement to do that.
Well, yeah, normally they would follow up with such an agreement. I don't know if they're at that point in time or not. But I expect we'll receive additional information on that as we proceed.
Yeah, I think it says, Harold, that they're waiting for their application to be successful with whoever they file it with, and then they'll come to us for approval.
I think we should think about what that looks like before they do that.
Just want to ask you, this was kind of your cup of tea. If you had any further information you could share with the board.
About this?
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I don't know what, you know,
I think it's gonna model Service Electric's agreement.
I would imagine they look pretty similar anyway.
Yeah, what we're seeing kind of countywide is almost like an arms race to get this direct fiber type service to residential homes. The concern that we would have would be proper restoration, permitting, traffic controls, things of that nature.
Yeah, I don't get it because Windstream is now also has, or connects, now has, or gonna be offering fiber too. And they kind of beat this whole system because it's regulated by the PUC.
I have Connect Fiber, it's fast.
Do you like it? I'm looking, that's why I asked.
I think Tom has a question.
Is there any, Tom Kime, Robeson Township, 873 White Bear Road, in our agreement with Service Electric that we get royalties from, are there any stipulations that that agreement is predicated on sole provider? If it does, that puts that income in jeopardy.
Yeah, and if I recall correctly, we didn't sign any agreements that were sole providers, but
It's been a long time since I worked on that, and we took it to the max, without, doing too much legal jargon, because, I knew them very well from my time at, the phone company. But we are maxed out on the amount of money that we get for their subscribers. I forget what the bottom line is, but I didn't know if there was anything in there that if we started getting additional service providers in the territory, do we just lose the revenue that they switch? Or can they say, do we get any revenue from the new subscribers going on from Comcast and the other one as we do for Service Electric?
well, that's the agreement we'd have to work on.
That's something we gotta find out about. I saw this and I wondered if this was supposed to be some of these towers that are supposed to be going on phone poles and things like that that they're planning to use. The letter tells us nothing. But Tom, you bring up a really good point, and I remember going through all of that. and
Yeah.
We did get additional monies out of the company when you went through that.
Yeah, that's how we justified the, buying the other building.
Right.
Is we jumped that revenue stream up to like 15 grand a year.
Yeah,
By just taking everything to max, and they agreed to do that.
right,
But I don't know where it stands, I haven't looked at it for almost, 8, 9 years.
yeah, at least. But I think we should definitely look into that. I don't know, Gene, manager, you guys can get together and.
During your budget cycle, you may wanna,
Yeah, provide the agreement, we'll look at it.
if
Okay.
You have a problem with that?
No.
the more that jump to other providers, that you don't have that hammered down as a revenue stream, as lost income.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I'm also concerned with now Connect getting into that business. And they're exempt from us because they don't have to make an agreement because they're regulated by the PUC. So,
That's Act 50. But that's Act 50.
well, it could be.
Yeah.
Under correspondence, the other day we got a thing from a solar company looking to utilize some of our property. Now, what the parcels that they identified in there were not the ones that I would be looking for them to use. But we have the 15 acres that they described in their proposal, not the 7 acres that they identified. Can we follow up with them and see whether they're in fact interested in the 15 acres as opposed to the piece that they
That's
identified?
over there, that's at the end of
What time road?
Yeah, I think that's a better place than where they.
Out of sight, and
Absolutely,
it's right next to the substation.
absolutely, it's a better place.
And there's no wildflowers there.
Or corn. Under the solar panels.
And that's all the correspondence I have this evening.
All right. So much for correspondence.
Police,
Yeah, who's next?
police.
Police. Dennis, I'm sorry.
No problem.
My agenda was turned upside down.
Good evening, board. Just had a few updates. He took care of all my business last Thursday with Sergeant Remby, and I thank you for that. Appreciate that. As mentioned earlier, with the thank you letter, we had Officer Elliott's retirement celebration, retired Officer Elliott's retirement celebration. Very well attended. Had over 40 folks there. Supervisors Steve and Rose were there, and they assisted me in providing Officer Elliott with his plaque from the township in addition to his retirement badge. So it went very well. LPR update for Gibraltar Road, September. That's what they told me that they should be installed. And then we'll have training soon after that, so that is moving forward. If you recall, I believe, last month or the month prior, you had signed agreements, authorized the manager to sign some agreements for that, so that is moving forward. Just a reminder, this week, Officer Schlotman is out of the office. He's at Kent Cadet. He's an instructor there. So that's where he's at this week. Next month, there's going to be a probationary issue that we need to address, should be positive with an officer. I just want to give you a heads up on that. We'll be doing an evaluation between now and then, and we'll have that evaluation prepared. This weekend, we had obviously that storm. We had 7 storm-related calls. We had some issues with Route 10 as far as the closures, and officers were getting called back. They issued 3 citations, 3 warnings to people running the barricades. That was a dangerous issue. We had a live wire down that actually scorched the roadway.
Yeah, not the first I've seen that.
Yeah, it was pretty tense there. And then just wanted to bring up a case. Sergeant Remby was the prosecuting officer and the investigator. It involved a storage facility in our township, and he worked on it for several months. We ended up having to reach out to state police for some assistance with technology as investigative means. They were great. They were there within a week. They helped us out with the technology we requested.
Recording in progress.
They helped us out with that technology, and we ran with that for a couple months. Through that, we were able to get enough information to prepare a couple search warrants. Search warrants were executed at the storage facility as well as our suspect's residence, and ended up in filing charges. So we have several victims, some in the township, some outside the township, whoever had the storage units there. But Sergeant Ruby did a great job. He handled the investigation totally on his own, ran with it, and said very proud of him. So I just wanted to bring that up to the board as well.
Were you able to recover any stolen property?
Yes, we recovered quite a bit of stolen property. In fact, that's some of the property that you see tagged down by your executive area. That's from that case. It's stuff that we can't even fit in our evidence room at this point, so we recovered quite a bit, having victims come in, identify, and take back their property. So it's a good case. He did a great job.
If I'm out of line for saying this, we received a nice email today, by Service and other officer, David, to surrounding township. I don't know if you want to get into that or not.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. Yeah, I sent out an email to the board, correspondence that I received from the Carew Township, Sergeant Pink Savage, and one of our officers, Officer Ketterer, Jacob Ketterer. You're probably familiar with the tractor trailer accident that happened at 724 and 176, and it's still hot asphalt. The driver was trapped, and Officer Ketterer, along with the Carew officer, got up on the guardrail with the hot asphalt underneath them
and they were able to extricate the burned driver out of the vehicle. And, ruined several officers' boots because eventually they had to walk in it. So obviously it ate their souls up pretty good. But we got a real nice letter from Township, and the Township's chief actually brought that up today at the chief's meeting as well. So they were very appreciative of the assistance of our officers. And that's really what it's about. It's, from just in the township working together as a team, but also like for the police department out on the street, working together as a team with other townships, working together as a team with our fire companies, our public works departments. I mean, it just makes everything in life go so much better when everybody works together.
I was the officer, and I thought this was really exemplary service when I read that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'll let
My
them know.
conclusion, that's why I asked if you wanted to bring it up to the.
Absolutely, I appreciate you bringing it up. Thank you.
Yep.
And that's all I have, unless anyone has a question.
Yeah, we talked at the workshop about the solicitation signs. Did anybody get the list to the road crew so they can actually order them?
No,
They were supposed to get a price first.
They were, like in order, they have to know how many.
We had 20 on the list.
Well, yeah, but it was 20
And there's
plus
some other signs too. that are
other
missing.
signs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can give them a copy of the list, that's not a problem, I'll
Okay.
handle that for you, Rich, you don't like on them, I'll take care of that. So yeah, so we get that, and just so you know, even though we are missing those signs in our township, which we found on our survey, what our practice is when we get a call for a solicitation, when they do not have a permit, we respond, we warn them, okay, so we give them a verbal warning, we tell them, stop, cease, because we have an ordinance, and this is what you need to do, provide them the information. If they heed our warning, it's the last to hear us. If they don't heed our warning, at the second time, we will cite. And we've had successful prosecutions doing it that way. So just because we don't have the signs, doesn't mean we can't enforce the ordinance.
How do people know how to get on the do not solicitation list?
Well, we don't have that set up yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one of the things we're talking about, because when Rich and I were working on that briefly, the drafting of that ordinance or the redrafting. And we would actually put that in there because if we had that do not solicit, our current ordinance doesn't address that. So I want the ordinance updated so it would address, like if a solicitor would go to a house that has a do not solicit, okay? That way it would give my officers some recourse that they can enforce it. Most of the times, try to work with people, a friendly warning, but there are the times where, the people don't treat our officers too nice, and they're the ones that get cited. Simple as that.
once we get that policy squared away, we'll put a special notice on the website.
Yeah, what I plan to do is I'll set up on our portal, I'll actually have a form built into the portal, that if they go into our portal, they can fill out the form and it'll get submitted right to our department. That way it just makes it simple. No need for them to come down here, mail us anything back, just keep it simple. And of course, they can always, if they prefer to mail it, they can print it out and mail it. But I just think it's a good idea. It's something that we haven't offered in the past. And when we were discussing the last meeting, I just think it's a great idea to offer to our residents.
Oh, I agree.
Anything else for Chief Castle?
Thank you, Board.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to finance.
May it please the board, last month we reviewed the bill list, which is attached. There have been no changes, additions, or corrections. I would ask the board to consider a motion to approve the August 2023 bill list.
I'll just make a motion that we accept all three of these reports. The monthly expense report, the treasury report, and the sewer aging report.
Okay?
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion duly made and seconded. I'll call for the roll call.
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes.
Mr. Chairman, the last meeting we discussed some escrow release requests. There was a release request from Brooks Home in the amount of $3,000.41, and a second request from Kabasic in the amount of $2,723.82. Those numbers have all been verified, and if the board wishes, a motion will be necessary to make those payments.
I'll make a motion that we release the Berks escrow fund at $3,000.41.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we duly made second and motion, we'll call for a roll call. Harold?
Yes,
Yes.
And I'll vote yes.
and then I'll make a motion, and you sure that's 272382?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we release the remaining escrow for Kubovisak at the amount of $2,723.82.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, duly made second and motion, roll call. Harold?
Yes.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes.
Mr. Chairman, that completes the finance report.
Okay, fire companies are next. Looks like nobody's here unless you got something. I have nothing to do.
I do not have the numbers. Scott was at that call, so I'm assuming it's like he didn't.
Okay, no problem.
I got two things. Rich, are you gonna take care of notifying the chiefs for next month?
The workshop.
Oh, for them to come to the workshop?
Yes, for an executive.
Yes. I'll do that.
Okay, and then the other thing is if we can find out exactly what transpired at Robeson with the $900,000 shortfall, and then maybe we can help implement something so it doesn't happen here. Maybe they already have the steps in process, but it seemed like that guy was doing it for quite a while and got away with it for a long time. I mean, he was sitting for 90 grand a year.
I got an email, well, not an email, but it came over the internet last night that he's supporting these gambling habits.
Yeah. So, like I said, if we get those details and then help the fire companies make sure it don't happen here. I don't know that either one of our current fire companies will collectively have 900,000, but whatever they have, they want to keep.
Surprised the heck out of me, I knew that.
Did you
Last
know
night I
it?
would have expected.
Keith Long?
Pardon?
You knew him?
I knew him, yeah. Okay, where are we?
We're at the
Minutes.
July minutes, expenses and reports. May it please the board, the minutes for the July 13th meeting are attached. The July regular meeting on July 18th is still being worked on, should be sent out shortly, and it will be on the agenda at the workshop.
Yeah, I'd like to hold both of those, because I still, there's several errors, I believe, in the workshop meeting minutes. So I'd like to hold both of them, so we can talk about it.
Will you be informing me of that?
I will.
Okay, so we're just gonna, we have nothing to approve tonight, that's what we're saying.
You can accept all the other reports, beginning with the SEO report,
Yeah.
letter C through letter small n.
That's the way I was going to go.
Yeah, with the building permit and code enforcement report, on the building permits, we've always gotten, what the permits have cost. And I see that's no longer on the list. And I think that we should probably have that on there, so we know we're at with our residents and what they're paying.
Good point.
Once the building permit has been approved, what the cost
Yes,
is.
when they issue, whatever the cost is to them when they get it issued.
All right, I will speak with that technical about that.
Okay, and I'll make a motion that we accept the remainder of these reports.
I'll second the motion.
We duly made seconded motion, we'll call for the vote. Harold?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
And I will vote yes. Okay, we're through the reports. Looks like planning and engineering is next. Ryan?
Good evening, board. I circulated my report in advance of the workshop meeting. A number of my items were addressed last week. We do have one item here under pro-grade supplies, plan withdrawal. We had discussed this briefly last week. Rich and I have received a letter via email. I'm sorry for the way this printed out. We do have an applicant who is seeking to withdraw their plan, and I know that their balance due has been forwarded to them. So I'm gonna request that the board accept the withdrawal of the plan, you know, and authorize us to continue to seek reimbursement for anything not covered by the escrow.
Okay, I'll make the motion that we authorize the withdrawal of the pro-grade supplies plan in accordance with the request dated August the 1st.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Chairman, can we also add that all costs are required to be paid? Can we just revise the costs today to send out to them? So,
So you have updated costs.
Yeah.
All right, so you gotta get that to Ryan, so he knows what he's dealing with.
Sheila's been forwarding it to them.
okay, you have that
Yep.
as well?
Okay. Good otherwise?
What's that?
So we good otherwise?
Yeah, I don't know that that makes a difference, but we'll make it that we also bill the remainder of the cost associated with their plan.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a duly made second motion. Call for the question, Harold?
Yes.
Yes. Yep. I have also vote yes.
All right.
Anyone else you have, Ryan?
The only other item that I have, unless you have questions for me, under items as needed, I have prepared a revised, this is revised as compared to what was in my engineering report. This is where we currently stand and what I believe will be the final pavement application and contract value for the paving work that was completed by Construction Master Services. We are looking at a change order to reduce that contract value by $1,584.01. All the work is complete and satisfactory to our office. We are waiting though for their final okay of what's in front of you and for them to sign the payment application. I should have it for your workshop.
Okay, so we want to authorize this new contract?
So this can all be done at one time. Typically what I do, Harold, is I do a change order at the end to zero out the contract, and that's what you're looking at here. Essentially, I'm forecasting this contract will come in essentially $1,500 below what we awarded.
Lower's better.
But take a look through this. If you have any questions, let me know. I fully anticipate this is what we'll do for you at your workshop.
Are you recommending that we approve this for payment tonight?
No, I'm recommending you take a look through it. Let me know if you have questions. I believe it's adequate. Again, what I don't have is a signed copy of this by the contractor to put before you for action.
Okay.
So we need to make sure they're on the same page. I believe they are, but let's do that. I'll have it for your workshop.
All right, we're safe, sorry.
Yep. That's all I have, other than a long to-do list after our workshop meeting, and I'll get back to you on these items.
Sounds good. Thank you. Legal matters.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The matters were covered, I think, in the workshop session. I do have one update for you. You may remember back in the beginning of this year, the board authorized enforcement on I think the applicant name was Sell. And with the zoning hearing board, we agreed to allow them to defer our enforcement of their violation in exchange for their agreement that they were going to file variances with the zoning hearing board to correct their problems. They did not do that. I've followed up now 3 or 4 times with their counsel. Today, I sent an email requesting that our enforcement notice be put back on the zoning hearing board list since there was no action. And lo and behold, shortly after I sent that email, we heard from applicant's counsel that they will be filing their variance request tomorrow. So assuming that all occurs, that situation may resolve itself as we thought it was going to do back in the end of March. And unless the board has any questions for me, I have nothing further to report tonight.
I do have a question for you. And it partially comes back to what we were talking to Bernie about. I've been keeping my eyes open for various various solutions to try and take care of the road problems. And been shopping around looking at road wipers. Got a price on a new one. And looked, just, I browsed through the internet, found one for sale in Maryland. It's a used machine, it's a 2021 machine. I think the asking price is $53,000. I had showed it to the road crew. Barry sent me an email today, Ron, said you guys liked it, what would we have to do to proceed with it? And I would think, because it's a used machine, we may still have to go through the bidding process in some way, shape, or form.
Who is the seller?
Pardon?
Who is the seller?
Good question.
Is it a private individual or a company?
MachineryTrader.com is what I have.
Okay.
That's a website, not a.
Yeah, it's the website in Maryland.
If you hit on it, does it tell you who owns it or?
Take a look at it.
That's a magazine.
Yeah, right. It's a.
You can get that. The Machinery Trader is a magazine you get.
Well, the only problem that I heard when I priced the new one, the Cleveland Brothers Caterpillar was the dealer whose name I had picked up at the Supervisors Convention, because they had one on display in the demonstration lot. And they said they usually like to hook them up to at least a 10,000-pound skid loader. Do you have any idea how heavy our machine is?
I don't think so. 8,500 at best.
8,500, yeah, they said they like to see 10. So I'm not sure if our machine will handle one or not. The big John Deere loader will,
Why don't we look one for the loader? It probably be a better
but you
machine.
have to get the adapting plate to hook it up.
Yeah, but I mean, that machine's gonna be too small for the John Deere. You can get a big one that fits the wheel loader, that would make more sense, do more area quicker, more efficient than.
I don't know, one way or the other, but it's there, it's in Maryland, and I don't know, we did something like this years ago, and we had to put a bid out and write a spec that described that used machine, you know, the bid was put out for a 2021 machine.
That's ordinarily what you do.
And I don't know how that would work today, if it's changed, because some of that stuff I know the legislature has modified.
Only on amounts, and obviously, if you fit in one of the exceptions from the bidding process, that's why I asked you who the seller is. But assuming it's a company or a private individual, that's what you would do. You would seek sealed bids, specify, obviously your specifications are gonna be very similar to what you're looking for there. And,
Okay.
that's what I would tell you, unless, for instance, sometimes, there are exemptions depending on who you're purchasing from, like another municipality.
If I remember what we had done before, I think you were manager at the time when we did it. We prepared a bid like that, and we got no other bids on that particular machine, and we were able to, but because we went through the bidding process, we were able to
That's right,
purchase that piece of machinery. Does that sound like?
That's the rule now. If you bid and you get no bid, then you fulfilled the bidding requirement.
Okay, that's what I was not sure of. Barry asked me, that's kind of the answer I gave him, but I said I would ask tonight,
Yes,
because
there's a process to do that.
you're the council, I know.
And sometimes, depending on your bid spec, you get these people to submit the bid.
Good point. It's a good point. Guys, you think we should work on this, look and see what's going on, go a little further with it, or?
I mean, we can get more details around it, make sure that it is gonna be efficient enough, right?
And that you can use it.
It might
not
be,
be put in the
yeah,
folder.
but I think, yeah. So, I don't know, get more information around it
Yeah.
before we make a decision on it.
I mean, the machine basically has a belt in it that's hydraulically driven off the skid motor, and as you push it along, you're dumping material in off your dump truck and spreads it on the side of the road. Just your exact situation.
The rear conveyor that goes on the dump truck for 10 grand would be a whole lot cheaper.
They sold one about 2 weeks ago. It hadn't brought $1,000 when I saw the bid and had 3 days left on it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Brecknock paid 10.5 or something installed on their truck.
Yeah.
Brand new from Quincy.
Yeah.
You know, and it's basically a conveyor that runs off the hydraulics in the truck for the salt spreader, and you put a chute, you can run it out either side, you just drive along, and you load the truck as you go,
Yeah. But
and then you walk along and you just,
But you can only load that truck. You can't bring another truck out, dump stone into that truck.
Settlers Valley Supply and Equipment.
but that's one of them, yes, you're right. But
But
you
on
can
the other
use,
hand, for 50,000, you could fit 2 trucks and have same left over.
and for 50,000, you can buy another new truck, or at least put money on it.
Well, it's an option, but
Right.
Apropos, I was telling you, you don't have to follow the bidding process if you're buying from a school district, a public
Right.
utility, a municipal.
just like we did with the John Deere loader, we bought from Exeter, it was
Exactly right.
right. Yeah, I knew they made, that was one of the changes that were done that benefited us, I feel. Okay, anybody else have anything for Solicitor Romano?
I broke a record here. You'll have the short-term rental, ordinance for the planning commission next month.
I'm hoping to, yes,
Oh,
yes, hope. Hope
don't,
springs
just don't be Pablo's
eternal.
brother, no. Hope and change.
I could have said no, it won't be ready, but I'm hoping it will be.
All right. Looks like that brings us up to Public Works. As
Mr. Chairman, due to the inclement weather that the township has been experiencing, the road crew has been out day and night. I'm sure a lot of you saw all the crews coming out at various times. And as the chief mentioned, they've been called out by the police, also the fire companies, and they've been doing a heck of a job in addressing those concerns.
I know we've had some really bad weather, a lot of storm damage. Everybody's been running around.
And that's all I wanted to report.
Okay, I'll be my broken record again. So where are we at with the bid specs for the bidding for a new truck?
They haven't come in yet.
I have the specs we got from Brecknock, and I'm getting a hold of
I got the one from Union.
I'm sorry for getting we got.
And, you know, once again, this is another meeting that we've just talked about it, we've gotten nothing about it.
Moving along.
And everybody keeps complaining we won't get a truck. So it's another month gone.
I will have something for you for next month for sure. And I did learn one thing on those trucks when I was looking at paver out in Newberry Township, which is below Harrisburg. I looked at one that was demonstrated there, nice little machine, but I had the good fortune to talk with several of the roadmasters or people that were there from Township road crews. And I had talked to one fella, from a township out that way, not Newberry, another township close there. He was coming in looking at the paver. He wanted to see it work. He's buying a paver, but he wasn't buying it until he saw it work. And he was happy with it. They're gonna order a machine. But we've been talking about trucks. And he had problems with four-wheel drive big trucks like that. And it was an international, very similar to the one that we did not bid on. And he actually had a front axle go out in his lot, just turning in the lot. Turned out the problem was in tires. The trucks were built and spec'd with Goodyear tires, and that particular year, Goodyear was on strike. So they put some other variety of tire on, and the front tires were just enough different The wheel diameter changed the gear ratio from the front rear to the rear rear and was causing the front axle to fail. So their solution was to go all to 315 tires, and now they're not even doing that, they're going to short tandems. I know Barry talked to me about that, a possibility on that, another tandem with a shorter wheelbase. So that's food for thought, and the tires are apparently critical in the four-wheel drive trucks, making sure that you have them maintain the right front tire size.
Spark Dock runs that Freightliner. They've had 2 or 3 sets on it and haven't had a problem.
Well, they're probably keeping the tires the same size tire.
Well, yeah, whatever, I mean, you have to do it with that, a 4-wheel drive anywhere you have to.
Yeah,
Even your pickup, you can't put 2 different sizes.
no, well, I think he said they went to 315s front and rear, does that sound?
That's the size, you know,
Yeah,
I don't know why you would change what was on the factory.
I don't know either. But
You
that's-
know,
No, that's just what the man said to me.
yeah.
That's what he traced the problem to. So I'm just passing that along, if we do get one, it's something we wanna watch out. All right, I will have to price for you for next meeting, if not before. All right, anything else, Rich?
No, sir,
Okay, Park and Rec?
nothing to report at this time.
All right, old business. Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Go to the order.
Let me make a quick comment. I was reviewing the profit and loss statements on page 2. Under the police part, which is 410, there's a 410-106, part-time patrolman salary, 575.96. Just if you review that, I'm gonna have to go over that at fiscal tomorrow, because we do not have a part-time officer. So I'm not sure why there's an expenditure at that point. So I'll review that tomorrow, so just if you see it, I'll get to the bottom of it.
Sounds like somebody got something in the wrong column.
So, simple fix, but I just wanna bring it to your attention, you can see it, because I had nothing budgeted for that line item for 2023.
Thank you for bringing it up.
I guess you're over budget on that line.
Yeah, I don't even have a chance anymore.
Jeff, anything? No. Okay. Executive session if needed. Anybody?
Anything?
No, I don't.
Great. There's only one thing left on the agenda.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn at 19:43.
Okay, I have a motion to adjourn, do I have a second?
I'll say.
Okay. Harold?
Yes.
Yep.
Jeff? Yes, and I'll vote yes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
That's like the world's fastest Robeson Township.
Isn't it? Amazing.